Hi everyone, welcome back to Jump In Jan. Today we're talking about assignment rules, which is a bit of a jump from what we were doing before, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun and assignment rules are really quite important, so it's a good topic to be covering in our Jump In Jan series. Now, first of all, what are assignment rules? They are exactly what they sound like. It's about assigning ownership of a incoming lead to someone or somewhere in Salesforce. This is really important because otherwise no one's going to be notified that a new lead has come in and no one's going to be able to follow up and you might end up missing customers, which is a big no-no. So let's have a look at how we can create assignment rules. They're really quite easy. The first thing that we need to do is open up our setup menu. Setup. And in our setup menu, we're going to be basically heading straight to our assignment rules section. There's a few things that you might want to be aware of, which we're going to go over in the next video about who you want to assign it to. Maybe you want to assign it to a person. Maybe you want to assign it to a queue. What even is a queue? We're going to cover that in the next video. All right. Where am I going? What am I doing? I think if we go in here and you look up assignment, let's see if I remember this right. Yes, here we go. We have our lead assignment and we also have case assignment rules. But we're just going to focus on lead assignment rules first. Okay, and in fact, while that's loading, I'll just bring up a lead here so we can see what we're talking about. When we say assignment, we mean that we're assigning someone to own this lead. They are responsible for this lead. They will be following up with them. They are the person from the company that is contacting this lead. And we can see this in a lead if you go into details and then you have a look under lead owner. Then you can see here, it's me here, Amber Joseph, and this is a user in Salesforce. All right, so not a contact or anything like that, just a user. Oh, I got hiccups. I've got the hiccups. All right, so our lead assignment rules here, we have one role, but each role can have multiple roles within it. So it actually says it here. Automatically assign leads to users or queues based on the criteria you define. You can create multiple roles with different conditions, but only one role can be active at a time. Sounds quite confusing, but all you have to do is open up your standard role, which should be there by default. It's standard, and you'll see what I mean. So within this one role, you can see that we have these role entries. It's kind of the first thing that we see on this page. And this is where we put all of our conditions for who we're going to assign this to. So you can see that the criteria for our first role entry is that the lead country is equal to US or USA or United States or United States of America. And if that's the case, it's going to be assigned to, me. And if the country is not equal to US, USA, United States or United States of America, it is also assigned to me. Now, the way that rules work is that it runs the first rule first, and then it goes to the second one, and then it goes to the third one, and it just keeps going down the list for as many rule entries as you have until it either finds one that it matches, and then it will execute it. So let's say that the country is equal to US or USA. Then it will execute this first rule, assign it to me, and then it will stop. It will not continue down through the rest of the rules. So it's kind of like first in, first served. If I go new here, let's create a new assignment rule. Let's say that we're creating one for New Zealand. All right. I might say this one is sort order number 3. All right. And you can choose 2 different options here if the criteria is met, or you could do a formula as well if the formula evaluates true. I'm going to do criteria is met. And I'm just going to do the same thing as what has already been done, but for my home country, New Zealand. So I'm going to say lead country if it is equal to, and I might say New Zealand. Or sometimes people just say NZ, so I might add another entry here, equals NZ. What else can people refer it to? Country equals New Zealand, NZ, Aotearoa. All right, and instead of using and, I might actually decide to use or instead. So, it'd be pretty impossible for the lead country to equal all of these three things at once. So instead we use our or logic. So now it's saying if it equals this one, or this one, or this one, then we're going to assign it to either a user or a queue. Now, we're just going to stick with the user because we'll cover queues in the next one. You can search for your different users here. We really only have the one in this org, so it's just going to be me. And then if you had an email here that you could send it to, then you can search for your email template and then put that one in too. Now, I might just put in a random one. All right, just choose a random one from the list and just check if it works. All right, so we might go save here. All right, and then I'm going to make sure this is active. So it's active at the top. I can see that this is my new rule entry. It's got my email tick. And I'm just going to come back in here and test it out. So I will go new. And I'm just going to create a new lead with that country. All right. Only fill in the necessary ones. I might say country test, test. And then the one that I am interested in is my country. So I will say NZ, save. And it should be assigned to me, but they're assigned to me by default. So that's not always the best test. What is really interesting to me is, did I get an email about this? All right, so I might go and check my emails and just double check. If I did get that one, then I know that it's worked. If I didn't get that, then first I would check, did I send it to the right email? So check what email is associated with your Trailhead account. And then you might have to go back into your rules and see, was it triggered by any of these ones beforehand, or did it actually make it to this one and did it work? So that's how our assignment rules work. In our next video, we're going to be talking about queues. In this one, we assigned it to a user, which is me. In the next one, we're going to talk about queues and how you can create queues and why they're useful. So we'll see you then. Thanks for coming along.